What's up, everybody? Super Mario here, PK Radiance. Um, just want to make this video just pretty much get some frustration off of my chest and explain to you guys what happened. I made a post some time ago, the 2nd of May actually, on Twitter. Came across a listing for Nintendo Switch Pro controllers, and the listing seemed pretty almost a little bit too good to be true. They were priced pretty much between $49.99 to $69.99. So you had the original gray and black Nintendo Switch Pro controller. You had the Splatoon 2 one, and you had the Smash Brothers Ultimate one, and finally the one that you guys see before you guys today. The one I ordered was the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro controller for the Nintendo Switch. Initially, from the second I paid, the seller was supposed to ship the item out the 5th of May. And the estimated time of delivery was supposed to be either May 8th to about May 9th. Those days had came and gone. Still no package, and it appeared on the 7th, the first facility which the package was supposed to be received and scanned. Once after that time and date, no further tracking information was provided. It's almost as if the item disappeared or vanished off the face of the earth. I'm just moving this here closer. So basically, I was concerned. So the 10th came, which was Friday, and the weekend came, so I decided to probably reach out to that said postal service to find out what happened or what's going on with the item. Why the holdup? Why no further tracking information? Was it dropped off? Was it scanned? I mean, what happened? Is it still there and nobody knew that it was there and it just needed to be passed along? So I spoke with a representative. They had told me that something about the item was received, but it was weird. I mean, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, the way this representative is trying to explain it, that the person that delivered the item did not do their due diligence, or for some reason the item didn't get scanned. And it happens, I get it, but I was just calling to see if I gave them the item, the parcel number and the order number, and hopefully, if they have it, maybe they could send it along. So, and the postal worker also stated that if you don't receive anything come Monday, which would have been the, let's see, 10, 11, the 13th, then to please call us back, or, we could pretty much assume that something's happened with this package or something. And the way eBay works, which this item was purchased off eBay, the way eBay works, the buyer is responsible for paying in a prompt manner, and they should be able to expect their package within the time window of delivery. Now, the seller is responsible for the package, packaging the item, safely so it'll make and survive transit with no damage. Seeing to it that the item is scanned within so many days of when the item's going to be shipped, and it must make it from their hands to the buyer. They're responsible for the whole that whole end of the transaction. And apparently, so what basically happened is, I contacted eBay, got in contact through eBay, and pretty much let them know what was going on and what happened. So they basically opened up a case, in my stead, to prompt the buyer to, pretty much hopefully help, this process along, to see to it that the package gets to the buyer. So the case was opened, that Tuesday, which was the 13th. So, Okay, yeah, Friday. No, I'm sorry. Friday was the 10th. Saturday was 11th. 12th was Sunday, and 13th. I'm sorry. It was, yeah, it was Monday. So okay, nothing came Monday. I got home that evening. Got home around 5ish. There was still nothing, right? So I decided to contact eBay. They opened up the case, and that prompted the seller. I mean, so the seller, the 14th, the following day, they contacted me stating that, oh, we're deeply sorry, and we appreciate your business, but we're deeply sorry that this item apparently got lost or stolen in transit, and we'll be either sending you, we'll either find out where the package is and try to get it to you, or we'll send you a replacement item. And I'm thinking, okay, this is great. Okay, the seller's trying to, make an honest effort to, you know, see to it that the buyer gets, you know, their item, and they're doing their due diligence. Even though, I mean, it's just odd that all this had happened anyway, especially with the item. Especially with the item getting stuck in transit like that. It was just weird, and no tracking being provided. Okay, whatever. So they basically asked for a few more days to make right the situation. And I said, okay, I figure, even though I decided to have the case can stay open. So hopefully, once the item arrives, things will, things will be okay. It should be fine. Well, today, which is now the 16th, the item did arrive. The package arrived, and yeah, a package arrived. So when I opened up the packaging, it was pretty much contained in here. I mean, I've seen better packaging, and so there was a bubble mailer right here. It was wrapped in bubble mailer, which was okay. The condition of the box is not too much, but so when I opened up the packaging, this is what I found. It's supposed to be a Japanese version of the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and as you can see the Japanese characters on the side. Now, at first glance, you guys can please look at this very closely, if you can, if I can get. Do you notice how straight and smooth the X is, going from the joystick from the top here all the way down and across, and the buttons? Notice how the buttons on the D-pad and the X, A, B, and Y are teal colored, same color as the X here, as on Pyra's chest, right? And unfortunately, when I open everything up, it was a generic, first of all, it was a generic USB Type-C cable, nothing like a Nintendo Switch. It wasn't labeled Nintendo, wasn't labeled nothing. It was generic USB cable. That kind of got me worried. I was like, what the heck, right? So, and also I have the instructions right here. These are instructions that came with this. Switch, wireless controller. That was another warning sign. Nothing on here labeled Nintendo, right? Nothing, indicating, any. So you have the generic, instructions. Generic. I mean, completely generic. Nothing nowhere near close what Nintendo would ship with any of their products now. Nothing like that. It's a shame. Look at this. So it just screams generic. And so the problem is with the listing, it was listed as, look, and I get it. I know there are, products, Nintendo Switch Pro controllers that look like, authentic, but a lot of them, you know what you're getting into because they don't have the Nintendo Switch logo on it, or some other, some other obvious reason, or usually the box will have the Switch logo removed and it won't say Nintendo, it just says Switch Pro controller. It won't even have Nintendo on there because of, licensing and everything like that. But what they did was, I'll show you guys. So, mind you, let's go back to the teal colored D-pad arrows and the teal colored Y, X, and B buttons. Here's the Pro controller that came inside. You guys can probably tell right away the reason why I made mention was, look at the D-pad. Look at the color D-pad. The arrows, gray, right? Look at the A and B, X, Y, gray, right? Not teal, as the X going across is. And also with the X, I don't know if you can see this, but do you see those ridges? Can you see the ends of the paint or the coloring, where some areas also is like almost like chipped away? Look at that. You can clearly tell that that's, and so here's what's on the box. Here's what's representative on the box. See that? See how smooth that is? I mean, dude, I'm just saying, guys, it seems almost like, so, okay. That kind of bothered me. And, of course, the screws, they're all Phillips. And, guys, I even have a Pro Controller. I have my original Pro Controller when I first got my console. Here's this one. Sorry, I got the gel thumb grips on mine. So, pretty much, you think about it, like with the other one, you have the buttons, the X, Y, A, B. I mean, I don't even think they even look similar. Whoops. Sorry. They look off. I mean, look at the A, Y, and B. Look at this. They're even off. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed, guys. So even look at that. Look how you see how the A and B and all that is. See, look at that, the lettering, and look how these ones are. Look at that, big difference. Very big difference. Look. I mean, what's going on there? So I've noticed, so here's the thing. I decided to put it to the test. Now, the generic USB cable, I tried plugging that in to my Nintendo Switch while it's docked, because I don't know if you guys, have added me, or if I added some of you guys on the Nintendo Switch online. I've been playing a heck of a lot of Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, for the Nintendo Switch. And I'm pretty much very well familiar with the tactile feel of the HD Rumble from my original Pro Controller. And I'm trying to sync this controller up to my Switch. It's not happening right away. I even tried using the generic cable plugged into the dock, trying to synchronize this controller to my Nintendo Switch, and it wasn't taking right away. I even tried to pressing the home button. I tried pressing the sync button and everything, and it wouldn't sync up. So after a time, I had to decide, okay, well, let's try it wireless. So, and the problem was the generic USB cable, and that was another dead giveaway. Using Nintendo, when they have USB, any type of USB cords, or any charge device, for any charge devices, they're branded with Nintendo. Sorry, let me zoom that in so you guys can see. If I can. Come on now. Come on. I don't know if you guys can probably make that out, and I do apologize. Let me see if I can. Yeah, you guys can see that. Yeah, Nintendo. There you go. Nintendo. I mean, they're branded with Nintendo. The other one had no branding on it whatsoever, and it wouldn't even sync up. The controller, when I plugged it into the dock to try to sync up the controller for the first time, it wouldn't even sync up. So I'm like, what the heck? So that's why you guys see this one. I actually plugged this one, the one that came with my Pro Controller. I plugged this one in to my dock, and I was finally able to get the Nintendo Switch, this controller, to hook up, and actually work. And the funny thing is, you know how Nintendo has updates for their Pro Controllers and their Joy-Cons and everything like that? No updates will be accepted on this controller. It stops dead in its tracks, freezes the console, and I have to reset it. What's up with that? If this is an authentic controller, how come I can't update this controller just like I can with this one? Or any of my Joy-Cons? Another warning sign. Another warning sign, guys. So, alright. So after time, I used the original Nintendo Switch USB Type-C cable. I was finally able to get something. It synchronized for a second, then it would drop dead. Synchronized for another second and drop dead. Unplug the cable. And after a while, when I hit the L and R buttons, once it was plugged into my Nintendo Switch while I was in dock mode, I got some type of weird, the vibration doesn't even sound right. It doesn't even feel like HD Rumble, like, the original, like this one does. And actually the weight, to be honest with you, this one feels a lot heavier. This feels a lot heavier than this one. You know what? I'm glad you hear when I put this one down? Hear that? And hear this one? You can hear it? Look at that. This one's lighter. This was much lighter than the original Pro controller. And it just doesn't... And also, while we're getting on... Now, let's get on to the looks. What is also a dead giveaway to me, this controller has been taken apart. For some reason, for some way, somehow, for some reason or something, because I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a hairline crack on the inside of the shell. So this gives me reason to believe that this controller was taken apart for some reason or the other. And the sleeves here, there is a gap on this side. I don't know if you guys can see it. So these sleeves come off when you take the Phillips end screw off. For disassembly, you can actually see it. It's like almost like it was taken apart and almost like it was gutted, or you was like, you see how this one sits so close to the edge on here? You guys see that? And see how, far apart this is over here? Look at that. I mean, what's going on there? And then you take a look at this one. This one hasn't been taken apart at all. Never has. I clean it. I try to keep it clean and everything. And yeah, see how close they are? This controller, this one has been taken apart. It's almost like they parted it, took the high quality parts, and the rumble feature is so poor. I don't know if I can hook it up. Hold on. And also the other dead giveaway. I have my Switch here. I have the another dead giveaway, guys, is here's a Switch right here. Here's my Switch. Now, what you can do with any Joy-Con, any authentic Joy-Con, any authentic Nintendo Switch Pro controller, you can wake your console up. Now, this console, my Switch is on in sleep mode. I should be able to wake up my Nintendo Switch. Now, but mind you, this controller is charged. I also I thought that maybe the charge was pretty much depleted, so that's why I couldn't wake up or sync with the controller. That's not true. It's fully charged. This is a fully charged, generic, fake Switch controller. So here's the dead giveaway, and this is the final showpiece I want to show you guys. But with this controller, this is the one I bought, I should be able to wake up this console by depressing the home button for 5 seconds, and it should come on. Here we go. Watch this. See? That's the wireless remote function to allow the console to wake up from sleep when it's in sleep mode. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is put it... Okay, it went back into sleep. Mine's usually set for 30 seconds. If I don't give it additional inputs when the console powers back on from sleep, it goes back on to sleep. Not a problem. This is an authentic Switch controller. Now, mind you guys, I've had this controller synced up, so just to show you, for transparency reasons, here we go. I'm going to power this on one more time. I'm going to go to controller settings. As you guys can see, I've been playing a lot of... So, see how it's synced up? Now this one, here we go. Here's the Xenoblade Chronicles fakie. Here's that one. So we're going to power this on. Try to sync it up. Okay? But look how slick they are. When you finally get this controller to sync up to the Switch, it even shows, see how the sides are, the grips, how they sort of kind of like, match the color of the actual ones. That's slick. I like that. That's slick. But so Now that after all the trouble I was trying to have it sync up, I'm successful getting it synced up. I'm just showing a little bit of gameplay there. But also I've noticed that the buttons, when you try to do, actually do commands, it's almost like there's a delay. Almost. Not as responsive as the original, this one, the gray and black Switch controller, Pro controller. There's almost like a delay. So here's the final coup de grace. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this controller, which I should be able to, since the sync now is put in sleep mode, right? Here we go. Now, I should be able to take this same controller and wake this console up from sleep mode if it is an authentic Nintendo Switch Pro controller, right, guys and girls? Right, ladies and gentlemen? All right, here we go. Now here we go. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm depressing the home button, just as I was with the original one. We were going to try this one more time. Why didn't it do that at that time? What's going on? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is it not powering on, guys? You tell me, because I sure as heck don't know. What the heck's going on? Why isn't it powering on? If it's authentic, if this is an authentic Nintendo Switch Pro controller, why can I not power on my Nintendo Switch since it's been synced up with this console? Why can I power it on and wake it up from sleep mode? Why is it not? This controller is fake. I've paid $70 and plus tax for a controller advertised as an authentic Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Looks like it on the outside, but when you look closer to the finer details, you can tell that this controller has been gutted. Parts have been stripped. Buttons have been put in place. The motor, even the vibration. There's no HD rumble with this. Even closer, you can go closer. We can get any more further detail. Even the trigger buttons. It's more of like a smooth, glossy finish, whereas this controller, they're more textured. I wish I could. I'm kind of doing this one-handed, guys, but I do apologize. But sorry, kind of getting into. I'm kind of upset about this. And guys, please, let's not. I sell, games and systems and accessories and peripherals myself, but I ran into some situations, and I don't like to be that guy. I don't like to turn in or complain or I'm all willing to give a person a chance, a shot, an opportunity to make things right. And then really, when the item came, when I got home and the package was on my front door, I was thinking, all right, the item finally came. I was going to let the seller know, and I was going to leave him positive feedback. I may have said there were some complications, there were some issues, but the seller made everything right. I'm very happy and satisfied. I wanted so badly to do that today, ladies and gentlemen. But today, unfortunately, you got some folks out here that, they'll try to take your money and run, try to cheat you, to beat you, and won't think twice about it just because they leave some half, formal, note or message, trying to sound nice or whatnot. No, man, he's still trying to get over on you. And So, before I made this video, I got off the phone with eBay customer service, eBay customer service rep. They closed the case for the item not received, and they opened up a case for item not described. Selling. This is not what any platform should represent or be about, and I don't blame them. And I apologize to the guys. Like, I don't like to be that guy, but I'm sorry. You guys, they're selling merchandise that's not authentic. You're advertising something that's meant to be like this, right? But it can't even. It's not. It's not. It is not. So, guys, I'm gonna leave it on that note. Just be careful what you buy on here. Be careful who you buy from, and just, actually, You know what? I'm about to do one more thing. I'm going to do one more thing. You know what, guys? I'm going to show you the listing of the seller that I bought the item from. I'm going to wake up my PC from sleep mode real quick, and I'll show you guys. I will show you guys the listing and the seller, and that will be the end to this video. That will be the true end to this video. And I will say this: if you happen to come across this seller, it was concerning. He seems like, or they seem like a new seller, right? And it seemed like when I made my purchase, that as the days went on, and I watch people's feedback. You know, certain things happen that you have no control over, and I get it. And those that do try to make it right, some people will sometimes turn around and still leave negative feedback. You know, it is what it is. I get it. But, you know, this person has accrued so much feedback. And the thing is, they just started selling these controllers like this in bulk. And certain feedback I've been seeing now, people have been complaining, leaving negative feedback, leaving neutral feedback, stating that, you know, the controllers they received, you know, are fake. It's taken 2 weeks, you know, to receive the item. I'm not happy. And generally speaking, it took me 2 weeks just to receive what I got too. It really did. It took me 2 weeks, and you know, way past the expected delivery date. So here you go, guys. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick, and then I'll end it. But yeah. That's the seller. That's the item, the listing, and that's the seller. That's the seller's name, Baba Wanju, and that's their feedback, right? And that's the item that I purchased. So they have listed here the original Switch Pro controller, the Smash Brothers Ultimate one, the Splatoon 2 one, and the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 one, which I purchased. That's how much I paid, $69.99. That's the edition one I paid. This was back on May 2nd, 2019. So if you go further and check their feedback, if I can, okay, I'm getting there. Do not want to do that. Okay. So, but yeah, that's a seller that pretty much and that's basically what they're doing. They're selling stuff that's, you know, I don't know what these folks are doing, you know. And the only thing I can say is stay away from this seller. This isn't good business. I really can't say that I had a pleasurable experience buying from them. They don't ship items, or they don't. I mean, the items don't get to you in a timely manner. And the item that I received from these folks was just, you know, maybe the box at least was probably what it was, but the packages inside. When I saw that cable and I saw the instructions, and then looking more closely at the controller itself, that's when I knew. They burned me. They got me. They had burned me. So, yeah, guys, this is a cautionary video. Just, you know, problem is, I mean, you can see what's advertised, but you don't know until you receive it. And, you know, I will say this, eBay and a lot of these places, they do have policies in place to protect the buyer as well as the seller in certain instances. But in this instance, you know, the seller just they're not selling genuine products as advertised, you know. So yeah, Nintendo Switch Pro controller, Xenoblade, Splatoon, Gray, Super Smash Brothers, US stock, right? Nothing about generic, nothing about not authentic. You know, you got the original authentic boxes with the Nintendo Switch logos on them for their corresponding controllers, and this is what you're selling to people. US stock. Why am I receiving a Japanese box, a Nintendo Switch a Pro controller from Japan, if it's supposed to be, you know, United States?